Well, what's this? No ingredients? That's right, today we're doing something a little bit different. Just a simple taste test, that's all. See, recently I ran into a few youngins who, well, they wouldn't call themselves fans per se, although they do watch the show and they are combative about it, but they were way into a little snack called Takis, which I have never had. They simply insisted that I try them, so here we are with our big purple bag. Purple being the most naturally occurring color in nature. Now, initial assumptions are this is kind of just going to taste like a Dorito, no? Like a flaming hot one maybe? I don't know, it does say Fuego, but it's got that Dorito dust for sure. I don't know, I do feel its raw power though. I don't know, let's give it a shot. What is going on? Wow. Okay, it's like 10 million flavors all at once, and absolutely none of them are even remotely chill, and yet they all absolutely pale in comparison to the salt. Yikes. That is like maybe more salty than a YouTube comment section. No, I feel the need to do these myself now. And I'm probably going to make them slightly more edible. Palatable. Takis, as advertised, are a corn chip, and immediately we have a problem. See, corn tortillas are rubbery messes whom don't respond very well to the roly-polies. So I think this is going to require a little bit of experimentation on my part. So let's kick off a little bit of a chaos kitchen. Alright, I'm going to get out a baking tray and line it with parchment. My oven is preheated to 350, and in a bowl we have a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of vegetable oil, and a little bit of lime juice. These were some of the more dominant flavors outside of just salt and crunch, if you feel like calling that a flavor. Alright, we're going to dip our test tortilla into this stuff, and let's try rolling it again. Yeah, I'm not really filled with a lot of confidence there. It's just cracking. How am I gonna do this? How does anyone do this? Maybe like we cut a triangle first? No, that's not really working either. Okay, time to get a little bit more experimental. One last test tortilla. This time, I'm gonna coat it in oil and our saucy stuff, lay it out on the parchment paper, and let that sit in the oven for about 5-ish minutes. I don't want it to start drying out just yet. I do want it to soften a little bit and absorb some of those liquidy things to hopefully make it a little bit more workable. Aha! Now this was a success. It actually stayed in its shape. I am a culinary wizard. Okay, now we have our strategy. We just need to replicate it on a smaller scale. So each of these tortillas I am quartering, and we're treating with the same liquidy saucy bath that our big lad received. Into the oven they go, again for no more than 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, let's get these out and do a little bit of a roly-poly. Ow, hot, this is not a good idea, ow. Okay, that did work, although it was not fun, I'd like to say. Is this what it's like at Willy Wonka's Taki factory? I mean, the bag does have the right colors, that's all I'm saying. And maybe the Oompa Loompas are just like covered in Taki dust? Speaking of, I think while those are slow cooking and drying out in the oven, thus crunchitizing those captains, we need to address the dust ourselves. Nothing against Takis or Takis Blue, which I can only assume is the extreme blue raspberry flavor, but I think our best bet is in subtlety, as opposed to the culinary equivalent of Miley Cyrus riding a wrecking ball through the concrete wall that is our taste buds. So, I'm going to do a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, salt, and black pepper. Give it a taste test with the hot sauce. Not bad, I think it's missing something though. Oh, I know, a little bit of sugar just to round it out and make it not quite so harsh. Yeah, that's the secret sauce. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes or so since I dropped those Takis into the oven, and they have held their shape with relative success, I'd say, and they are crunchier. So, to finish these off, we're brushing them once again with our saucy sauce and tossing them in our homemade Taki dust. Okay, now these are feeling properly dusty, but before we munch down, we need to let them dry out again. So I'm letting them sit on the parchment paper and baking for another 2 minutes before letting them sit with the oven off and the door opened for another 25 minutes. That way they're really going to be dried out and really crunchy. We return once more to the Taki bag. Let's do one last taste test, shall we? Wait, that's not a regular Taki, that's one of my Takis. Gaze upon how they're a color that you'd expect food to be. Quick side by side here. Obviously I am incapable of getting these curls quite so tight as the Oompa Loompas do, but the crunch is there and the flavor is really nice. Now I gotta be clear here. These don't really taste like Takis. If you're looking for a 1-to-1, this ain't it, chief. What this is, though, is a thoroughly scientifically tested approach to a Taki making method that I, and I assume others, could easily cruise on, as opposed to the Godzilla of flavors destroying the city that is my humble taste buds. It's soft, it's subtle, it's just the right amount of spice but not too crazy. It's a little bit like barbecue-y, which maybe you could cut down on by having less onion powder and garlic powder. And if you wanted less spice, you could just tone up the lime a little bit and take some of that other stuff out. These are really pretty flexible all said and done. So I'm gonna say good job, everybody. We somehow stumbled through my horrendous chaos kitchen and came out the other side a little bit richer and a little bit fuller than when we arrived. So see you next time, when I probably will fill my life with just a little bit more chaos. Is Hugh Grant the right casting choice for an Oompa Loompa? I'm really not sure how that decision was made, honestly.